Ladies and gentlemen, here we go into game number 1 between Cruncher and Demuslim. Both these players are going to start off on Shir Beach. Orb, man.
I'm so excited for this match, man.
Should be.
You know, I love Demuslim. I love this guy. He's a cutie patootie, as my good friend Bosius would call him. This guy is amazing. He's been, you know, he came back from a wrist injury, and all of a sudden started practicing a ton again.
Yeah.
And the guy is unreal. I was watching his stream the other day, as I do whenever I get the chance. He's one of those guys that will explain literally every single thing he is doing in the game while he's streaming, which, you know what, it's actually a little bit difficult to do when you're trying to play at a high level and talk about what you're doing. So he's a really good player, but of course on the other side, Cruncher, a very established Protoss player in the community. As I mean, what do you happen to know Cruncher's score right now? Because I'm trying to think about how he's been doing. You know, I feel like maybe he hasn't been doing quite as well recently, but you know, I have seen him practicing quite a bit, and I think he's been working on his builds. So you know, maybe we'll see another one of those. I mean, I've seen crazy builds from the guy. I've seen like 9 gates off 2 base, and he just goes ahead and gets like 1 forward pylon, whoops, and ton of units. Do you think we're gonna see that kind of play again from him?
You know, one thing about Cruncher is that he definitely plays towards his opponents. We saw actually last season against Show, he actually did a build. It was a 1-gate double expand. And that is absolutely insane. Wow. But he knew Show's type of style and directly hard countered. That's such a cool thing to see from a player like Cruncher that really likes to take risks, but at the same time takes a lot of different, you know, standard routes as well. So it makes him so unpredictable.
Yeah, it's hard to play against a player like that. You really can't just rule out any possibilities, even the most crazy of possibilities. Like, no one expects something like a double expand off of 1 gate. No one expects 9 gateways off of 2 bases, right? So those kinds of things are going to be tough. Demuslim's going to have to be very, very on top of his scouting if he wants to make sure that he doesn't get caught off guard this game.
Yep. We can see that the first probe gets in here very, very fast. More importantly, what it sees is that refinery coming up. The refinery just indicates, of course, that there is some sort of tech. Ooh, a gas deal coming out here right now. So that's just going to limit the amount of builds that Demuslim could ever do.
Oh yeah, I mean, a lot of Protoss players like to do this, especially in PvT, and on a map like Shir Beach, where it's going to be hard to get in your opponent's base and get some scouting information, it's understandable because you can just limit it. It's like, all right, well, all of a sudden you can't go Cloak Banshees. All of a sudden, if you want to go for something like a 1-1-1, you're not going to have the gas to be able to get things like Ravens, etc. So it really does limit those options, and most likely we'll just see a pretty standard play from here from Demuslim, as he does just have that 1 barracks with the tech lab. So for now, it just looks like it's going to be a pretty standard Marauder expand. And there we go. Concussive shells is on the way. Now it's possible. Oh my god, that probe actually got into the main base, so Demuslim didn't get that full wall off. So not exactly what Demuslim probably was intending there, but you know, the probe will leave after that first Marauder gets out. He will be able to deny any possible scouting, but the probe's already gone. But I feel like that's actually a lot of information for Cruncher to be able to see the 1 barracks and the tech lab as well. That's just, I mean, to know your opponent's going for a Marauder expand is a great amount of information. You can actually go for something like, for example, 3-8 Void Ray, which basically just hard counters this build. You don't have enough anti-air to deal with it. So I'm really surprised that Demuslim actually let Cruncher scout that.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, and more so, I would have liked that like Marine to just stick in the middle or on that top end of the 2 supply depots and play completely safe. He's instead going for this Marauder expand, which, as you said, there are a lot of things to take advantage of this. I don't know if Cruncher is doing exactly the best build for it. We do see 2 additional gateways. This will be a 3-gate double gas pressure, and it has the potential to do a lot of damage. At the same time, if it fails, it's pretty much a huge flop. There's no way that he can actually continue on. We can see Cruncher is actually putting down a Nexus pretty soon, but still, I feel like he will have the capacity to pressure on his opponent as soon as he gets some sentries down in the near future. Yeah,
usually this build revolves around getting a lot of sentries out, a lot of stalkers as well. You put some pressure on the bunkers of your opponent, and well, looks like Demuslim has been able to scout this. Let's see if he sees the gateways. He might actually get into that main base. Oh, barely gets killed before it can actually get out of range. and escape into the main base. Bill's got everything, so it doesn't see that. But yeah, I mean, when you go for the 3-gate expand, you can actually put some pressure on the bunkers, and it forces a Terran player to have a lot of SCVs ready to repair, maybe put down some extra bunkers. The problem is, as you said, if you overcommit, if you lose those sentries, it can be a big flop, as you're saying. There's not really much of a way to transition when you lose all of your sentries and stalkers. But you know what? If you don't overcommit, just put on a little bit of pressure. Maybe push in if they look like they're under defended with only like one bunker. But if they have enough defense, just go ahead, put on a little bit of pressure, force those SCVs to sit there by the bunker, and then don't actually ever attack.
Yeah, and I like what Demuslim has actually done. A lot of times we see just 2 barracks come out of this, out of the Marauder expand. This time around, he's going to get his 3rd barracks. Did I say bunkers before? No, I said barracks.
I think you said barracks.
Okay, so he's going to get his 3rd barracks before he actually gets the factory. And this is good because look at this open area. The 3-gate pressure or whatever might come out. Actually, it's going to be a Dark Shrine. But if there were 3-gate pressure to come out, it's going to be very hard for Demuslim to stop this with only 2 barracks. He gets that extra one just to be absolutely safe.
Yeah, this timing from Cruncher, though, is confusing me just a little bit because, I mean, he went for an expansion into Dark Templar, but he also went 3-gate before he expanded, so the whole thing just kind of didn't seem the most efficient. Maybe if he gone 1-gate expand into Dark Templar with 3 gates there, you would have had the extra 300 minerals, could have dropped down that Nexus that much earlier, would have had more minerals for pro production, and, he'd still have those gateways later on to, be able to make as many DTs as he wants. Now, granted, he was able to use those to make a couple more sentries here, so he does have 4 sentries sitting around, but it still seems just like a little bit of an inefficiency with his build. I mean, that Dark Shrine is going to be coming out late enough that, Demuslim should be pretty well defended, although I am looking at his base, and the engineering bay is just about to complete now, so we'll have to see if he actually throws down a turret at the front. I would expect him to do it just to be safe here, especially since he hasn't really seen any pressure from Cruncher. Now, generally in this situation, you would have expected a Protoss player with a later expansion and 3 gates like that, to actually put on that pressure. So with the lack of pressure, he's definitely got to be wondering what's up.
Yeah, we'll see. For now, I mean, Demuslim, he's not put down that turret, as you said before. It is quite standard to actually just put one down in case of delayed Dark Templars, just as we see. Instead, he's trying to cut every possible corner. Not yet upgrading that engineering bay. Kind of peculiar to do that. I know +1 attack is one of the highest priority things that you have to get when you are doing a Marine Marauder ball, but
yeah, it looks like
there finally he gets it.
Yeah, it looks like he was prioritizing getting those medevacs out just a little bit earlier. So I mean, it's understandable. There's a trade-off. You get the more energy building up if you get the medevacs earlier. If you get the upgrade earlier, obviously that timing to attack is a little bit, sooner. So maybe he's just not worried about that timing. Maybe he is not worried about attacking that quickly. Whoa, taking a 3rd command center already over here at the 3rd base of the 1st Dark Templar, though. Walking into the main, Demuslim actually pretty undefended. I can't believe he got that early eBay and still didn't get a turret. There's a turret on the way in the main. There's the scan, picking off the Dark Templar. Looks like at the natural, same thing, but no, the Dark Templar actually escaped. Still has 34 HP and is picking away at the refinery. 1 turret is up, but he's going to have to make another one over there if he wants to kill off that DT, as he just does not have the energy to scan right now.
Yeah, the Dark Templars are really doing wonders. He gets a good scout, of course, inside. Sees pretty standard stuff, but also baiting 2 of those scans. It's so nice to be able to do that. Of course, weakens that mid-game push where Terrans really take off. But, oh my gosh, Cruncher really needs to check that 3rd, because if the 3rd command center is able to go up, that's a huge advantage for Demuslim.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no reason that he couldn't just be, completely denying that right now, especially while Demuslim didn't have enough energy to scan. Now he has 2 scans available. He's not going to use those mules wisely, so he'll actually be able to move out and scan to kill off DTs, defending, of course. And he's already up to 4 medevacs here, and he's got a Ghost Academy on the way, already about 3/4 of the way done. So once he gets that 3rd base up and running with some more gas income, he'll be in a pretty darn good position. Looks like Cruncher going to try to move into Demuslim's base again. There are some Marines there and the turret, though, so he's going to be forced back, and he still has not scouted for that 3rd base. I mean, that's kind of the #1 thing you can accomplish with DTs, is that you can deny the 3rd of your opponent if they're just relying on static defense. And oh no, Cruncher trying to get 1-1, but they're both only halfway done right now, and Demuslim's moving forward for the engagement. There are 4 sentries with full energy here for Cruncher. Let's see if it'll be enough.
Oh, so smart. Bringing in this 1 Marauder, it might actually burn a lot of charge. No, it only just burns 1 of the charges for the Zealots. He was just going in there to check what the upgrades were. It's such a clever move. Now, High Templar is going to come over here. There is feedback. No storm just yet. It looks like quite a long time. Force fields are going to go down. and just trying to delay this Marine Marauder ball, but it will take out one of the simulators, which is pretty critical.
Yeah, Cruncher's in so much trouble. There's a scan. There's still 2 more available, I believe, right now for Demuslim, and probably another one. Yeah, another one since he got that 3rd oral command up. So Demuslim actually taking some time before he attacks since he sees those Templar there. He wants to be careful. They do have Storm. They have enough energy. He's got to be really careful. He could take a huge Storm. Nice force field and the Storm on the army. Excellently placed by Cruncher. Really nice micro. Of course, some of the units do escape. He's just going to go ahead and lift into the medevac and leave, but that was a huge loss there for Demuslim. Very, very efficient and nice engagement there by Cruncher.
But off of that, he was able to get a little space, and that gives him the ability to get that orbital command center down there, and he's got his 3rd. He hasn't yet actually saturated that, and that might be a big problem. He really needs to do so, but still, for the most part, these Marine Marauders did do their job. I wish he would have been a little bit more conservative with that play.
Yeah, I think obviously he saw the Templar, so he kind of moved back. He's like, you know what, I'll be safe here. If after seeing the Templar, he had then just split up his army as much as possible instead of clumping him into a ball where they could be force fielded like that, he would have been in a much better position. But this drop right now, trying to do some damage. Looks like Cruncher is very well defended, though. He actually saw that drop on the way with a DT at the edge, so nice play there. But I think Cruncher has still not even scouted the fact that Demuslim has a 3rd up. So Demuslim is behind on food right now. His army's a little bit smaller, and his harvester count's a little bit smaller, but he has 4 mules mining at that 3rd right now. And, you know, that army's going to get pretty big pretty soon here. So Cruncher's going to move forward for the engagement. And actually, Demuslim pretty out of position with these 4 medevacs. Desperately does not want to lose these right now, but this charged out Archon composition could be a little bit difficult for him to deal with unless he can get back home and get a lot of ghosts up.
And as we speak, he is getting Ghost. He has a lot of Marines in his army composition. That's the price you have to pay, because Ghosts are pretty expensive in the gas. They cost 100 gas every single time. So a lot of times you see this mass Marine Marauder composition whenever you're introducing something like Archons and High Templars. Now, the obvious counter to that would be Colossus. So we can already see a robotics facility coming up for Cruncher. He's preparing that switch so that he could be so cost efficient with his army.
Yeah, and look at that, man. He's already got 2-2 about to complete here. Meanwhile, Demuslim is just working on 1-1. So, I mean, there's actually going to be a timing here where Cruncher's going to have 2-2 done, and Demuslim's only going to be at 1-0. So that could give Cruncher the advantage he needs to push in. He's already done a lot of damage here to the 3rd, and he could just move in to the natural of Demuslim. If Demuslim doesn't hit perfect EMPs, he could be in a lot of trouble. But no, it looks like Cruncher's just going to fall back. He has a War Prism on the way, actually. It looks like that's what he is going to choose to use with that robotic facility. He's going to go ahead and take a 4th base. So he's just going to try to play defensively right now while doing multi-pronged harass, of course, with those War Prisms. Now, Demuslim, though, is up to 4 ghosts with his army. This army's starting to get pretty darn scary. But I feel like if Demuslim doesn't get second Evo or really get those upgrades pumping, he could be in some trouble if they go for a big engagement.
Well, he does have the second eBay up right now. He hasn't started yet the +1 melee attack just yet, but I'm sure he will pretty soon. That should be one of the top priorities for him. It does look like the gold expansion is being taken for Cruncher, or at least it's removing those destructible debris. And for now, just a tiny little engagements going on all over the map with Dark Templars. And of course, look at that, EMP goes down, takes out one of the Dark Templars. But for now, things should smooth out.
There's this 1 DT in the 3rd base, taking out actually the mules and the SCVs of Demuslim. He will be able to scan and pick that off. I'm looking right now, though. It looks like Cruncher has actually killed 12 workers total this game. Demuslim only 7, but right now it's looking like 70 probes to 53 SCVs. So all this Dark Templar harass all over the map is actually causing a lot of trouble for Demuslim. So these forward pylons, of course, the War Prism, going to actually prove to be pretty darn effective for Cruncher. He's only ahead by about 12 food right now, but he has his 4th base already done. And you know what? He might not be saturated on minerals, but he's already mining from the double gas. That is huge in PvT right now, because he'll actually have that gas available to get Templar, get Archons, get Colossi, anything he needs.
Yeah, of course, and that's the main bottleneck of just creating things for Protoss. You need those gas-intensive units whenever you're going up against Terran. Looks like EMPs are going to get in here. Snipe goes down.
Snipe. Right before that feed was already... Oh no, all the sentries! Gosh. Oh no, the sentries and Templar were stacked up in a huge ball. Cruncher loses all sentry energy and Templar energy all in one big EMP. That is terrible for him. Even with his gigantic upgrade advantage at 2-2 right now compared to the 1-1 of Demuslim, he really doesn't want to engage. He's got 3-3, about 20 seconds from completion, but here come the storms! Nice dodgers by Demuslim, splitting up his army in an amazing 3-pronged split here. Will it be enough, though? It looks like it will. Cruncher is starting to lose his entire army.
Yeah, there's just so many medevacs here. healing up the entire force. It looks like he's going to be bearing down his opponent. Even with 3-3 just about to finish, it's just milliseconds away from finishing. Now Dark Templars and Zealots are going to warp in here. Is it going to be enough? It looks like the Dark Templars are not yet scanned. 3-3 just finishes, but it's not going to be in time. The whole army of Cruncher is wiped out right now.
This is going to be terrible for Cruncher right now. It's 91 food to the 157 of Demuslim. Even though he has 2 additional bases he can transfer to right now, this is such a huge loss, and of course he's unable to rebuild his army quick enough. He really needs to build up an army before engaging, of course. Really can't afford to just warp in and engage, as he's been trying to just stay alive with Dark Templar right now, but of course EMP and scan counters Dark Templar, so Cruncher is in a bit of trouble right now. Demuslim actually not scanning right now, not EMPing, not doing anything. He has enough energy for EMP. He's losing a lot of his army. There we go. There's the scan to pick off those 2 DTs from Cruncher, but it looks like he's going to take out the 3rd base. Cruncher going to be forced back to that 4th, and his main is almost mined out here, so he's going to be down to just 1 mining base.
Yeah, and you know what? Demuslim has to keep up with this. You can see that there is still only 1-1 for Demuslim. 2-1 is being upgraded right now, but it's not that much. Zealots are now engaging onto this army, but I don't think this is the correct decision. Scan goes off, of course, on that Dark Templar that's attacking a lot, and that's going to be it. GG comes out from Cruncher. Demuslim's going to take game number 1. Oh, that is so frustrating. I know Cruncher's exact position when you have just a huge advantage, 3-3 against 1-1. I cannot explain enough, or not explain, I cannot just emphasize that enough. Marines deal 3 damage to your Zealot. If they're under Guardian Shield, they do 1 damage.
Wait, I thought it was 3 damage if you have Guardian Shield.
No.
Really?
Well, because think you have the +3 armor, the initial +1 armor, so that's 4 armor.
And they have +1 though.
And then you have the Guardian Shield that does -2 attack.
Right.
So it is a total of 6 theoretical armor. Marines deal 7 damage with +1 attack.
Oh, I thought it was 7 damage. Yeah, all right. I'm silly, man. I'm silly.
What?
That's crazy. You know what?
1 damage.
You know what? Well, first off, he didn't wait until he had 3-3 before he engaged. Actually,
Yeah.
Cruncher made a huge mistake there. He had his entire army out in the center of the map. There wasn't really a reason for it. I mean,
No.
he had no reason to be aggressive at that point in time, and he had no reason to ever want to engage until he had 3-3 done. He had about 20 seconds left. All he needed to do was pull his army back, wait in his natural until he had that 3-3 done, then engage. The other problem was that he literally had every single one of his sentries and his Templar, except for the reinforcement Templar that are back as natural, and his Templar in one clump. One clump, man. And he actually, it wasn't like he got caught off guard. He was trying to move around the map, so he saw Ghost coming. No, he actually spread his army, prepared for Ghost to engage, but unfortunately it was just a really bad spread because it had every single one of his casters in one clump. So Demuslim walks up, okay, EMP once, and the game's over, literally. So that was just, unfortunately, that bad spread from Cruncher.
The other thing that I really have to emphasize as well is going to be feedback. You need to feedback the freaking medevacs. You need to do it. I mean, I know he was trying to feedback the Ghost, which is fine. That if you can get that, that's awesome. Of course, theoretically, you shouldn't be able to get that with Snipe and EMPs out.
Yeah, never.
It's just
it's a huge mistake by the Terran if you ever get your
so you
Ghost
can't
feedback,
count on that, but you can count on feedbacking all those medevacs. And there was a position where there was a 3-prong spread by the Terran, by Demuslim, and think you can just approach your High Templars over there, and they still have to do that. Theoretically, they still have to spread like that, so you're still getting the extra damage with them moving. Just feedback every single medevac, and they're useless. They have no way to heal, and all of a sudden it's going to be your 2-2 units against 1-1 units.
Soon to be 3-3 versus 1-1.
Soon to be 3-3.
Yeah,
so it's a huge advantage for you regardless.
He took his reinforcement Templar, brought him in, went for those storms. We saw Demuslim go for the perfect split away from it. He dodged it very well. Great micro by Demuslim. But yeah, you know, if you don't have force fields available, or if you don't have a full surround on the Terran army, then yeah, feedback is a better option. They're obviously just going to run away from storm, and you're essentially just trading your Templar energy for medevac energy, but it's always going to be more efficient. Well, I guess unless you hit like 1,000,000 Marines with one storm, it's usually going to be more efficient for the medevac to be healing than for you to be storming. So yeah, it's a much better idea. I agree with you that, you know, feedbacking medevacs, maybe then falling back, holding until you had 3-3, maybe would have been in an alright position.
Yes.
As it wasn't able to do that though.
Yep. We're going to go into game number 2 in a little bit. It's going to be on the Shadow Temple. Everybody stay tuned. More PvT action coming your way.